everything that's within. So if my life's shitty, or if my life is good, I'm actually creating it. You know what I mean? And going back to what you were saying earlier, applying whatever into every day of your life, it all fits. It really just, what your focus is. Doesn't matter what your focus is, right? So if me and Justin were texting earlier back and forth, and I was saying, like, everything has to be intentional. You have to make everything intentional with meetings and your business and your conversations and who you want to allow in and out of your life. Everything has to be intentional, because you know if you're trying to achieve greatness, if you're trying to achieve wealth, if you're trying to achieve whatever you're trying to achieve, you know any it's so easy to be derailed. You know what I mean? It's so easy to be sidetracked. And it's hard focusing that your mind on what you want.
You got to learn how to focus. You got to learn what to focus on first.
Right.
That's what I learned. Like,
right.
This past season it's like I knew I had a problem focusing, right? But it's like, then when you realize you got to focus and then you start to learn how to focus, it's like, wow, what do I really focus on now?
Right.
And then it's like, well, what do you want?
Right. What's your desire? Right. What's your desire?
And then your desire, what's next is like, in order to actually attain that desire is to manifest it, right? To become it. And that's the trippy part. It's the really crazy part too. I bet I'm hearing an echo over here. Let me turn this off. Okay. But yeah, Coach Luckey, I don't mean to interrupt you, Dan. This is my other guy, Chris. He's heard a lot about you. I swear, we talk about you as if he knows you. Like he even addresses you by Coach Luckey. He's like, "Oh, Coach Luckey told you that?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, that joint was deep." Right. So
nice to meet you, Chris.
Hey, Coach Luckey, same here. Definitely a pleasure to finally meet you. I've heard a lot about you, and I've been able to witness the impact that you've had on Justin's life. So hearing that you were going to be here tonight is heavy for me. It's awesome. I feel like I know you. I feel like that whatever you have overpoured into Justin's life has overpoured into my life also.
That's wonderful.
So you're not even impacting the ones directly, or not only the ones directly. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Bro, Chris, you didn't even see it. You weren't on here. Jeremiah flew down here, bro. Like, mommy told him no. I said I'm going on a meeting with Coach Luckey. But as soon as he heard Coach Luckey, he beat me down here and like started screaming hysterically, like, because he wanted to come and say hi. Like, bro, he's connected with Coach, bro. It's like,
right. My boy,
my inside man. And everything.
My inside man.
That's powerful, man.
Yes. Well, I know it's late where you guys are, so let me say something to you guys about something you had said. So when you guys talk about achieving greatness, right, or achieving or attaining things, what does that mean when you talk about like achieving something or attaining something? What does that mean to you? What do you mean by that? What does that look like? What does that mean? When you use the word, I'm not saying whatever it is you're attaining or achieving. I'm not talking about the thing, but I'm talking about the attainment, the achievement, the actual thing itself. Everything that the actual achievement itself, not what the achievement is, not like money or health. What is attainment and achievement? What actually is that?
So we're started, guys. I'm going to open this up to you guys real quick because just to let you know, we are streaming on YouTube. The guys will get the recording because whoever's in here now is who's supposed to be in here. So I knew it was going to fire off with a question. So feel free. You guys could go ahead first if you want. I'll jump in when I feel urged to.
I'll start it off. For me, honestly, Coach, I feel like when I hear achieving something, I feel like the most important thing that comes to mind is self-discipline.
Okay.
I feel like there's areas in my life that I want to achieve or overcome. There's things in my life that I want to overcome, and it's not anything that's physical or tangible or anything like that.
Okay. So before you go, so Chris, you just said self-discipline. What does the word discipline mean? Where does that word come from? What does that mean?
Like, what does it mean to me?
No, doesn't matter what it means to you. What does it actually mean?
I couldn't tell you the definition of
The
it.
word, Daniel, do you know what the word discipline means?
I don't know the exact definition, but I do know discipline is doing things regardless of, so you have a goal or you have an objective or whatever the case may be, staying on track during the good times, during the bad times, constant, just staying on track constantly, regardless if it's a good day or a bad day, it doesn't matter. Having the discipline to just keep going. Perseverance, right? Oh, wait, did that cut me off?
No, my bad. I was just sharing
Oh,
my
okay.
screen of definition.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Okay.
See it.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
So constant perseverance, regardless of how you feel, of how shitty it is, how good it is, it doesn't matter. Discipline is constant perseverance. That would be my definition. I don't know the exact definition of this. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. So the actual word discipline, do you know where that word comes from?
Probably a Latin word.
It's a Latin, so it's a Latin word, but that is where the word disciple, discipline comes from the word disciple. The word disciple essentially means there were 12 disciples.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to get into the metaphysics of it, but there were 12 disciples. That means there were 12 disciplines. So now who was teaching the disciples in the story was Jesus. So Jesus was the highest mind teaching the disciples. So Jesus was teaching the 12 disciplines. The 12 disciplines, like I said, I don't want to get into it too metaphysically, but they were 12 different aspects of the mind, like the 12 zodiacs, the 12 cranial nerves that go up from, the base of your neck all the way up into your brain stem. All that's different. So the point is the word discipline comes from the word disciple. Disciple means to be taught daily. That's why Jesus was with the disciples every day. It means to be taught daily. So discipline is not willpower. What you were describing generally is willpower. The one thing that you did say that was correct is constant. It means daily, every single day. It's not willpower like you're trying to overcome, you're trying to fight through. It means to be taught. It means you're teaching something daily, you're training something, almost like when you're training an animal or like you're training a habit, or it means you're coming from a place of awareness and knowledge that you are now training something to line up with what you know, right? So that is what the word discipline means. So when you say self-discipline, you're essentially, Chris, meaning self-taught. It means you are teaching yourself daily how to be what you want to be. That's what self-discipline is. It means you can discipline yourself. You can teach yourself how to do something on a constant, like Daniel said, a constant, consistent basis as a reflection of who you choose to be, of who you desire to be, of who you are. Self. So it's the self that's doing that. It is the awareness in you that is teaching you how to be you, because only you, the awareness of you, only your higher mind can teach you, Chris, how to be you, or Daniel, how to be you, because it is actually you. It is actually you. All I can do is give you, or all anyone outside of you can do is give you suggestions, give you, good tools, tips, tricks to kind of get your attention, but you have to pick what's the best way to make this happen for you. I had a guy who was a guy I knew, and I've told this story before. He was oh God, what was he? I forgot what he was at first, but he was employed. Oh, he wanted to do, this is back in the day. He wanted to do newspaper. He would drop off the newspapers early in the morning to people's house, like in the car, throw the newspaper on the porch. This is like 15, 20 years ago now. But he would do that, right? He started off doing that. Well, it worked because not many people want to work that shift, like 3 a.m. to like 5 a.m. So he was making pretty good money. But the problem was he kept his pay kept getting docked because he was late all the time. So he didn't consider himself a morning person, even though he was generally making good money. Well, he decided we had another boy who was a bartender. So he was like, well, man, I'll put you on the bartending. Long story short, in a year, dude was making almost 6 figures bartending. He was out there, like he was the one flipping the bottles up in the air, putting fire on the drinks and doing all kind of other stuff. But the biggest thing was that he considered himself more of a night owl. So he stayed up. He was a late night person. So it was easier for him to do something, not even because the job was easier, but because it was more in line with who he thought he was, with who he felt himself to be, right? So when I say I'm giving you tools and tips and tricks, it's only for you to figure out what works for you. What information, how can you extract this information and be able to apply it to your own life, right? And be able to say, okay, based on who I want to be, based on what my proclivities are, my tendencies are, my habits are, my behaviors are, what is the best way for me to take this information that is true, but I still have to purify it and distill it. I still have to make it appropriate for me. It may not be at 3 to 5 in the morning. It may be from 11 o'clock at night till 4 in the morning. And then I go to sleep instead of trying to wake up at 3 and be late every time and lose money, right? So two things can be true. The truth can be true, but you still have to figure out how to personalize it for yourself so that you can apply it. So when we talk about, when I said achieving and attaining, what I'm asking you is so what I'm telling you is this, because I don't know when I'm gonna see you guys again, so I kind of just got to give it to you, right? So make sure you get it. Okay. There's there's an illusion that humanity is under, which is really largely run by your ego, right? Your ego is like the veil on like the Wizard of Oz, when the wizard is behind the curtain and everybody trying to see behind the curtain, right? To see who's pulling the strings. Your ego is the veil between your true nature and your physical expression, which is called Chris, Daniel, Justin. That is the physical expression of who you are. It's not you, it's just your avatar, or it's the physical expression of you, right? So there's a veil between who you are and who you believe you are. That is your ego. So it's making you think that you're really Chris or you're really Daniel. That's why dying feels scary. That's why living feels wonderful. That's why everything feels real. But it's not really you. It's just you believing yourself to be something. So there's an illusion. So the illusion is because we think we're Daniel or Justin or Chris, we think we're separate from something. So you think you're separate from success, just like you think you're separate from your true nature. You're not. So the fact that you believe in the illusion of separation, it then makes you chase things because you think you're without it. You think you're not what you want to be, so you're chasing it. And that makes sense. It makes sense when you don't think you're this, you want to get that. So that's why I asked you, what do you think achieve and attain actually is? Achievement and attainment is realizing that you already are whatever you desire to be. The only reason you're not is because you haven't achieved it or attained it in your mind. You have not self-defined as that. So you have not self-defined as wealthy, self-defined as healthy. You haven't self-defined as all that is. You haven't done that. You're thinking that you're just Chris, little old Chris trying to make it. Right? Money doesn't grow on trees. It's hard out here. You know, there's racism, there's sexism, there's this, there's that. There's all these different things that we think apply to us when we identify with our experience instead of our identity. Your identity, if you were to, if I said, hey man, it's nice to meet you. My name is Luckey, right? If you were to introduce yourself in the first person, you would say what?
My name is Chris.
Okay, so you said my name. So you said, so name is a possession. Just like my arm, right? Mm-hmm. You said my name. So your name is a possession, just like your arm. So then my question to you then would be, well, who are you? If you say it's your name, then it's not you. It's your possession, but it's not you. Your jacket, that sweater you have on right now is your possession, but can't you take it off? So then what happens then? Jeez. Do you see what I'm saying? It seems like what I'm saying to you guys can feel tricky, but it's true. It's true. Your name is a possession, just like that sweater you have on. Daniel, just like that hat you have on. Justin, just like those glasses you have on. It's not you, it's a possession. But you've been in your body so long, you think it's you. but you haven't been in that sweater long enough to think it's you, or don't have those glasses long enough to think it's you, but you still define them the same way as mine, as a possession of me. So then who is me? Who is that? That whoever that is has everything that you want, isn't chasing anything. But when you don't know that's you, you think you are the possession, your name. You think you're identifying yourself as your experience and not your true nature, not your identity. So your identity, which some people call God, Allah, Buddha, Jesus, the creator, whatever you want to call it, the net effect, the function of it is the same. That awareness is everything, has everything, knows everything, does everything. So you're not truly separated. So to attain and achieve means to realize, to come back to the truth, to realize you are that.
I am.
I am. I am. So if I am, then how are you not?
Right.
If you are, so then, right? So if you are, then how are you not? And if you are not, then if not doesn't apply, then what are you chasing? If you already are. If I said, Daniel, go get Daniel.
I am.
Right. You couldn't go anywhere. So then if you are Daniel, then you are rich. Then what are you chasing?
Right.
And Coach, can I intercede for a second?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'm gonna pour my heart out, Coach. Listen, I don't know how long you're gonna be on here, but listen, man, I'm gonna take advantage of every minute that you're on here.
Listen.
Honestly, do you believe in the Bible?
Yes.
Okay.
I understand what it is. Not probably the way everybody else does, but yes, I do.
Okay. Can you define that a little more for me? I just want to see where your
I understand that the Bible is your biography. I understand that it is talking to you about your true nature. It is like your will and testament. It's something that is left behind so that when you came here physically, you could look at it and remember who you are and who you were before you stepped into that body. I try to give you a sense. Yes.
Okay. And so, because this is my tug of war.
Okay.
Right. I was raised in the church,
yes.
And I do believe that the Bible is metaphorical, actual, and historical. Right.
Okay.
That's my thought process of the Bible, and I agree with you. I do believe that the Bible is a book of wisdom. I believe that the Bible is not a book that was written for what happened. I believe that the Bible is written for what's always happening, right? Just in our lives. Okay.
Yes.
But at the same time, though, because of my upbringing, I feel like there's a lot of things that I need to unlearn.
Yes.
Okay.
That is part of it.
And that's my tug and war is because you say the I am part, right? And Paul in the Bible, he says, but I am a wretched man. Oh, what a wretched man I am. So, and it conflicts with the mindset that's trying to be produced. Like, and even Danny put a book in our group chat the other day, the Science of Growing Rich.
Yeah.
Right. And I made it 3 chapters, and some of the things that it was saying was conflicting with the teachings that I was raised upon, right? Or teachings that in my core that I've grown to believe in, right?
Yes.
So I had to put the book down.
Yes.
And it bothered me for that whole day. It was driving me crazy because it's like, what is this? What do I learn? What do I, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do I trust in? Do I trust in this? I just feel a little lost. Let me put it like that. And that's the reason being. I'm gonna keep it there.
Okay. So great. Let me give you some, let me ask you a question, and let me give you an example of how to read something. Let me show you. So Justin, do me a favor. I need you to pull up on the screen so that people can see it. I need you to pull up Genesis 1:27, chapter 1, verse 27. And then you can bring up the whole chapter, and then because we're going to go back to, because I'm going to show you how to read something, Chris, so you get a better understanding. But then, Chris, let me ask you a question. The people who taught, most of us.
Does it matter which version?
You can go to the King James version. It doesn't matter what version. You can go to the New International Version. The New International Version. Okay, so the people who are teaching this, most people, do you think most preachers, on average, know Hebrew, Greek, and Latin?
No.
No.
So that's what these books were written in: Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, and some Aramaic, right? And things like that, older things. So the reason I learned a lot of different languages, I speak 6 currently. The reason I learned a lot of different languages was because some things I just wanted to be able to speak to people. Some things I wanted to know. I learned Hebrew because I wanted to know what the Bible really was saying, what it really meant in the original definitions, not in the connotative ones, meaning the way we use them now. That's why I said, does anybody know what the word discipline means? Most people don't, because they don't know the root word, where it came from. They don't. So then we're just applying words that we hear like, oh man, that's cool. Oh, that's fresh. But our young people, Jeremiah wouldn't know what that meant. Really, like he wouldn't.
Or,
because,
another word a lot of people don't really understand what mean repentance,
correct.
sin.
Correct.
Repentance,
Correct.
sin. A lot of people don't know what those words really mean either.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So,
correct.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I just
no, that's
when you were
correct.
on that,
right? Right. Sin means error. It's an archery term. It means to
missing the mark.
Missing the mark,
Awesome.
right? Repent means, it's a Greek word, metanoia. Metanoia, to radically change your mind, like Neville talks.
Right.
Okay, so then if most people don't know Hebrew, Greek, and Latin, most people aren't using these words that when we all grew up, because I grew up in church too. Every Sunday, my mom had her hair done, couldn't roll the windows down in the back of the minivan. It was 200 degrees, and right, the whole situation, right? So I grew up in those things. So we're all grown up in these things, being taught at a very young, impressionable age, but we're not being taught the truth. Whether it's in ignorance or whether it's malice, it still is the same. Right, the outcome is the same. We're not being taught something. So if most people don't know Aramaic, Hebrew, Greek, Latin, if they don't know other languages, they don't really know what these words mean. Justin, let me give you guys an example. Justin, pull up the etymology dictionary online and go to the word nice. Now, let's say, Chris, Daniel, what does the word nice mean?
The way we know it, nice, to be nice to someone is to be kind, courteous, right? That's nice, right? Kind, courteous.
All right, Chris, what does the word mean?
The same. I would have to agree with
There
him.
you go. There, look on the screen.
Foolish, ignorant. No way.
Yes, because it's a compound word. Ni means not.
Wow.
The ICE comes from the root word science. Science means conscious, to know.
Right.
That's what conscious means. No, that's what the word science means. It means knowledge. Conscience means with knowledge. Right. Conscious means with knowledge. So science means knowledge. Nice means, it's a compound word that means no or not. Not, so it means not knowing. The ENCE, the INCE, it means to not know. Right. So when you're not when you're nice, it means you're stupid, you're foolish, you're ignorant, you're lacking knowledge. See, most people don't know that. So I teach my classes and things like that. I usually start off with several things like this to get people to say, if you thought you knew this and now you realize you don't, then maybe you don't know other things you think you know, right? I use these little simple things as examples. Most people, to you guys' point, Daniel, don't know what a lot of words mean. So we're taught with all these connotations and false definitions of words. So it gives us a false impression of a story, right? A false impression of even a religion or an ideology, because we're following the word Calvary, right? Does anybody know what that word means? They say Jesus died on Calvary. Anybody know what that word means?
No.
Calvary means Golgotha.
Golgotha's in the head.
Yes, skull.
Skull and bones, right?
Skull. So when I say that Jesus died on Calvary, it's talking about your consciousness. It's talking about Jesus. It's talking about within you. It's not talking about. That's why it says, "I never leave you nor forsake you." Right? I'm with you everywhere because that awareness never leaves. Right? So the body is the cross. If you ever looked up, like in the beginning of the Bible, when Jesus was going to get all of his disciples, and he said, "Hey, take up your cross and follow me," right? It was always, you're talking about your body. It's not talking about actually some sticks and some wood. But my point is, I'm just giving you little things like this to kind of prep you for the next thing. All right, Justin, go to Genesis 1:27, please.
Just so you know, I'm listening. I just gotta use the restroom, but I'm listening.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, it's all good. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys how to read something. I want to show you guys how to see yourselves in this book to show you how to read it, right? So when I say, do I believe in the Bible? Yes, I believe in what it was written for. I don't believe in it the way people do.
Hey, Coach.
But I'll show you how to read it. So, Justin, will you go to that, please, so they can see it? All right. So first thing, so it says, God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. All right. So let's break this down. God's name is what?
I am.
I am. So anytime you see God in there, put I am.
Yep.
Okay. So Daniel, you can read it. So you read it. So read it with that.
So I am created mankind in his own image. In the image of I am, he created them. Male and female, he created them.
Okay, so I am did that. So I am creates, right? Okay, What is I am? Is that a person? Is that a place? What is it?
It's a state of being.
It is a state of being. How, where, what? It is a state of being, but called what?
It's called you. It's called me, right? It's I am.
Yeah. I am is consciousness. It's awareness. So when you term it as God, it's the highest level of it.
Right.
There's different levels of awareness, like a tree being able to produce fruit in every season, or not, or the leaves fall off, and it's still aware. It's still operating from an awareness, right? Knowing it who it is, and because it can't change its awareness. See, God is the highest level of awareness. I am is the highest level of awareness, right? We're made in its own. So I am is a consciousness. So then, if I am is a consciousness, Daniel, reread it again. How would you have to read it if I am is a consciousness?
So, hold on. It's so consciousness created mankind in his own image.
Wait, stop. In its own, in
his
own.
How
image.
could it be a his? So he's a he?
That's what it would imply.
How? Then how is a woman created in his image?
Well, technically we're all one, right?
Right. So then how could it be? So then if we're all one, how could it be a he if there's another one? What is I am?
I am is the identity.
No, it's I. So take I.
Yep.
Am. We put those together and you create. I would be part of the consciousness. M would be part of the consciousness. The male and female, boom, together, create. Right. Creation.
Correct. But when it's talking about male and female, is it talking about physical?
Probably the conscious and the subconscious.
So then it's not physical.
No.
So then how could it be a he?
That might have been putting in there, translated it to that. Maybe.
So let me show you how to read it. So I am created mankind in its own image.
Mm-hmm.
In the image of I am, it created them. Male and female, it created them. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So I am created mankind, humanity. Right? So mankind represents what? Humanity represents what?
Well, if it's his own image, it represents God.
Okay. So, but yes, in what form?
In physical form.
In physical form. So then what creates physical things?
Non-physical. So the meta.
Right. So who?
God. So
who is that?
I am.
So then who is that?
Me.
So then who creates the physical things in your world?
Well, we do. We all do.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
So then that includes success and failure.
Right.
There is no other.
No, I mean, just like from earlier when you were saying, you don't manifest what you want in life. You manifest who you are.
Correct.
And until a person could truly understand it. It took me years to understand what that really meant. And it's going to take some people really, really a long time, or not necessarily, but when you understand what that really means, when you manifest who you are, you don't manifest the things you want, you manifest who you are. Then if you want to manifest the desired person, that rich, wealthy, successful person, you have to become that person first.
And that is attainment.
Right.
That's achievement.
Right.
Chris. That is what attainment and achievement is. It means when you become the person who is that, who has that, who that lifestyle reflects. Because the lifestyle, the physical thing that we're quote unquote chasing, well, why would we chase something physical if we're the creator of the physical? Mankind represents physicality. Humanity represents physicality. Dollars represent physicality. Health represents physicality. They're in your 5 sense world. What created mankind, the 5 sense world? I am. So consciousness creates the physical world. So whatever you're conscious of, that is the physical world that you are going to experience. So achievement and attainment then is to now start to identify yourself by your true nature, which says, well, if I am, and I am created mankind, I created man, male and female, I create all physical things. So Justin, go back to it. Let me show you something else. Chris, while I'm talking about it, let me go back to chapter 1, go to verse 1.
Got you.
Watch this. So it created mankind, male and female. Okay, go to chapter 1, verse 1. Yeah, you can just go. There you go. Perfect. Now watch this. In the beginning, I am created the heavens and the earth. I am created male, female, the heavens and the earth. So in the beginning, I am created the heavens and the earth. I am created another physical thing. All physical things are created by I am. By every physical expression is created by only one thing, I am, consciousness. What you're aware of being. So as I am, you are all things. You are all things now. All things are yours. You create all things. So whatever you know yourself to be, that is the part of creation you are experiencing. So when you talk about attainment, Chris, or achievement, this is what you have to attain and achieve, is the awareness that you are the beginning. You are I am. And the heavens and the earth, or the male and the female, the physical expressions that you are wanting to change or that you are wanting to now experience have to first begin with you, meaning changing your awareness of what you are. It means looking inside yourself and saying, I am everything, I have everything. What do I want to express? When you go in your kitchen and you're hungry, you can eat anything in there because you've already paid for it. When you go within yourself, you can have anything in there because you've already created it. It's not something separate from you. There's nothing to attain or achieve. What is true attainment and achievement is the awareness of being the person who has or is or who does what you want to see physically. That's what attainment is. That's what achievement is. In the beginning. So in the beginning, Justin, will you open up the whole chapter? Just erase 1. Yeah, open up the whole chapter. So let me show you how it goes. So in the beginning, I am created the heavens and the earth, the physical things. Now, the earth was formless and empty, and darkness was over the surface of it. And the spirit of I am was over the hovering waters. Okay. So there was nothing there because I am hadn't said anything yet. So then I am said, let there be light, and there was light. Well, if I am said, let there be light, and there was light, what had to exist in order for I am to say that?
Darkness.
Well, darkness already existed, right?
Awareness.
So then he acknowledged it.
He just acknowledged what it knew. It just acknowledged what it knew already existed, but had not decided to experience or express yet.
Right.
But it was already in existence. Whatever you want to be already exists. It's already within you. It's already a part of your identity because you're made in the image and likeness. It's already a part of you. So when you think it is separate, when you think you have to chase, when you think you have to attain, when you think you have to achieve, when you think you have to become, we are making the mistake because of the illusion. So we think we have to pursue something physically, but we don't. We have to pursue that thing mentally, meaning we have to become aware of being. We say, let there be, and there was. So there was no physical thing before there was a verbal command. But there's no verbal command before there is a conscious awareness of that. So consciousness creates everything. Now, what did it say? I am saw the light and was good, and he separated the light from the darkness, let's say. Watch this. Do you know what the word separated means? There's another word that we use.
You want me to go to the etymology dictionary?
No, I'm just going to give it to you. Does anybody know, though, real quick?
Mm-mm.
Do you know what that
No.
word in context means?
No.
It means it's the same word we use, decision. Decision is a Latin word. It means to cut off. So when I am made a choice to let there be light, after that choice, it's like if you make a choice to swing a knife, when you cut something, that's the decision. It means you separated what was whole, and now you turned it into two things. So what did it say? I am said, let there be light. That's a choice. And then from that choice, right? Look what it said. Light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. The decision is the outcome of a choice. Choices are always first. Decision is the outcome of a choice. The choice says, I'm going to be rich. When you make a choice to be rich, the decision now comes down to separate you from poverty. That's what the word decision means. It means to cut off. So if you want to bring up, if you guys can look it up on your own or whatever, you want to bring it up now, fine. But that's what the word decision means. It means to cut off. Choice means to choose. And whatever you choose, you now cut off its opposite. So if you come out of your driveway and you turn right, what happens to left?
Cut it off.
It's cut off because of your choice to turn right. Left is automatically cut off. It's automatic, but it doesn't happen before you choose.
Jeez Louise.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Right? So what I'm saying to you all, right, when you said to achieve, to attain, achievement and attainment is not physical. Achievement and attainment are physically expressed, but they are not physical. They are consciousness, they're awareness of beings. They are a shift in perception to realize I am not separate. I am not separate. I am everything. I am is everything right now, everywhere, all the time. So that means you have everything right now. The illusion, the belief that you don't. Daniel, I know you know some Neville. You know how Neville said, you are what you want to be right now. But just your refusal to believe it is why you don't have it.
Right.
It's the story we keep telling ourselves. You guys, whatever you guys got, if you guys got on this call to be rich, like you guys want to be killers in the stock market, you already are that. The desire to be means it's like a commercial, like a trailer for a movie. They show you something so that you can make a choice on whether you see it or not. But you can't make a choice if you don't know it exists. Your desire is like a movie trailer. It's telling you, hey, this thing exists. Do you want to go see it or not? So when you have a desire to be, the titans of the stock market, that's already a reality. It's already true. Otherwise, you couldn't have a desire for it. But you have to choose it. You have to now start identifying yourself with that. You have to go to the movie theater and see the movie. It's not that it doesn't exist if you don't go, but you can't go if you don't have the trailer. Well, it exists whether you decide to be rich or not. It exists. You're just making a choice on whether you want to do that or not. But you don't know it's an option if you don't have a desire. So your desire is the mechanism to get you to change your conception of yourself. I make $1,000 a week in the stock market, or I make $2,000 a week.
Let me jump in real quick, Coach Luckey. Like, man, you are like, this is definitely like a lot to process. So I'm really glad we got the recording as well. Shameless plug as well. Coach Luckey has a challenge going on at the end of the month. I just want to plug this real quick, Coach Luckey, because Vero would be really upset if I didn't, right? So I do want to put this link in the chat. Listen, I'm telling you guys, being a part of Coach Luckey's community is one of the best things that I've ever done. And, as far as like investing in a community, the other part is I do have a business relationship with Vero, which is his significant other, and I got a lot of love for him. I met Vero earlier in my journey, like when I first started in real estate. And both of you guys kind of know like that time frame for me, like where I was. I didn't know anything about anything, right? I was really, really low, like really finding myself. And I happened to meet Vero through the morning meetup, and we really got along, and she kept like rebuking me like in these different areas with things I would say, and I'm like, oh wow, I never like thought like that, or wow, that's interesting, I never heard that point of view. She's like, well, if you like what I'm saying, you got to meet Luckey then. So she was telling me, Chris, just like I'm telling you, all these times about Coach Luckey, that's how she was. So when I actually got to meet him, the first time we did an interview, and it was an amazing time. And ever since then, we've kind of been working together. They're my affiliates in Go High Level, so they manage their community platform inside of same marketing platform that I use for all my clients. And so I'm just so grateful for the Mental Academy, the challenge. I'm gonna put that link in right now.
Just
Go ahead.
I signed up after the first 10 minutes.
Yo, facts.
Signed
Oh,
up.
it's
Like I'm in there like swimwear.
Awesome.
And can I just ask, and my bad, Jay, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. That's what this is about. Because Chris, me and you, like, don't forget this either, right? Like me and you, we started the year off, and this is something else I kind of wanted to bring up on this call. Coach Luckey, me and Chris, right before the year ended, right? He relocated to Florida, so he was back home in Philly. And he was in town, so he stopped by, and it was like the most present I ever felt, like hanging out with him in a long time. Because we really don't, not in person that much, maybe like nowadays, the past few years, it's more on the phone. But like, we got to sit there, we got to reflect on our year, and we got to talk about, what we're expecting this year to come. And when we sat down, we had a podcast as well. And some of the things that I said, Chris, was like, community, helping people with, AI marketing, right? You snap back, you said a couple of things, but, and this was what I was thinking, like the notes that I took down before this call, I feel like where it got off for our focus, Chris, was like, we can't come from the place of money, because then when we lose the money, we don't have no community, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said that before you jumped on here. I'm like, dang, if we just focus on options, people might, we might get a lawsuit.
I think he froze.
Yeah, I think so too.
Go ahead. I know you're going to say something anyway, Chris.
No, so I wanted to ask, where do you find the grounding of your teaching at? Like, where would you say you found your belief system from? Like, where is this thought process? Where is your foundation?
But it hit me like it's, we all have a desire to be around like-minded people so we can all learn and grow. Am I frozen?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So I just want to know, like, where your foundation is from. Where would you say that you've gained your belief system and the way you articulate what you believe in so firmly? I just want to know, where is that grounded at?
Couple things. So let me start with a little bit of history. I was like probably most every other person. I wasn't an angel, but I consider myself a decent person. But I also felt like, okay, there was no logical reason that I was not as happy as I wanted to be, or as satisfied or as fulfilled as I wanted to be. I felt like I was putting in the time, I was putting in the work, I was putting in the effort. I wasn't robbing, killing, and stealing. I wasn't saying I was an angel. I was an angel, but I didn't feel like there was an obvious reason that I was not feeling like I was getting back what I was putting out, right? So I said to myself, well, either I don't know enough or I don't know the right stuff. So I just went on my own personal journey and started looking. I said, I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what I'm looking at or looking for, but I feel like I either don't know enough or I don't know the right stuff. I didn't know which one it was at the time. So going back to kind of, going back to Daniel's thing. So the first person I started listening, the first person I stumbled upon, I wasn't looking for anybody, but one of the first people I started really listening to, and I don't even know how I found it, was Neville. I don't even know how just on YouTube, I wasn't looking for him, didn't know he existed, but I started
God works some mysterious ways, don't he?
Right. So I started listening to Neville. Then I found Rev Ike. I found Dr. Joseph Murphy. I found Annie Ricks Millets. So I started just listening to a ton of different people, and kind of like a puzzle, I started putting it together. Then I grew up like most of us in a church background, but as I started hearing people who had spoken other languages or could tell me what that word really means, who talked about an etymology dictionary or who had a concordance, so that basically it's the dictionary of the Bible, so it tells you what that word in that sentence really means, where it comes from. Most people, we don't grow up being taught that way. So we just grow up with religion connotatively, meaning an emotional, an opinionated, ceremonial experience. There's no science to it. There's no real knowledge to it. It's just, we feel either really good every week or really bad every week because of what we did, or right. But there's I didn't feel like I had enough information to use it. Like I talked about earlier with you, Daniel, like 2 + 2 being 4. Like, what was the law? What actually is happening here?
Right.
So, long story short, what I equated to is almost like dating someone. To me, I always equate like books and information like dating someone. The longer you do it and the more you get into it, the more you go beyond what it says and start to have an understanding of what it really means. So like when you have someone close to you and they say, hey, Chris said this, that, or the other. Well, when they're close to you, they know what you said, and they also know what you mean. They know, like, oh, when Chris says this, he means this. I know what he said, but I know what he means. Because when you have a relationship with somebody, you're able to go not only the surface words, but you also understand under the surface what they mean by what they say. And so I started, as I studied more and more and just reading and finding my own way and things like that, the more time I spent with it, the more my awareness started to open. Because when you start telling yourself, I know the truth about everything, that's achievement, that's attachment. So what happens is when you start identifying yourself as something, then your consciousness creates heaven and earth, male, female. It creates your physical experience. So it starts to lead you to all the things that physically represent what you are conscious of, right? What you're conscious of being. So it led me to books. It led me to authors. It led me to videos. It led me to people. It led me to all kind of different things that I had never heard of. One great person that I really like is a guy named Bill Donahue. He's on YouTube. I don't know if you guys heard him.
Yep, I know Bill.
Yeah, like found him, like all of that. So that is what makes me so then I started applying it, because I wasn't doing this to be a teacher. I never wanted to teach anybody anything. I was trying to figure out my own life and my own self.
But to be doers of the word, not hearers.
Right. Deceiving yourselves. Right. Let him not think they'll receive anything from the Lord or the law, from the law of mind. Right. That's what the Lord represents, is the law of mind. Right. So saying that to say, as you start applying it, you start getting experience. Yes, I know 2 + 2 is 4. But once I go to the store and I give them a 5, and it was only 4, then now I get $1 back. I'm like, oh, okay, now I know what that means on another level, experientially, right? So as you start applying what you're learning and figuring out what you know, what you don't know, how it works, things like that, it just becomes life to you, because it's what you're doing, you're living it. And so I tell everybody in the class, like, I'm always sweating and hooting and hollering because I live it. I'm not on here just putting on like an outfit and then I go back to, something else later on. I live this in every area of my life because I wanted my life to get better. And it's like, well, if it works over here, let me try it over here. Let me try it over here. Let me try it over here. And I realized, like I was telling Daniel earlier, I realized 2 + 2 is 4 everywhere. It's that way in my life. It's that way in my business. It's that way with money. It's that way with health. It's that way with relationships. It's that way with whatever. So I'm like, well, shoot, then once I know that, why would I go back? I can't go back now, right? Because I just know too much now. I can't unsee it, right? I can't even get myself to cry and whine and complain, as far as feeling like that's going to do something and not realizing what it's going to do anyway. So anyway, anyway, Chris, to answer your question, that is kind of why I talk the way I talk, because I'm living it every day. I'm practicing it every day. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of being. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not a voucher. It's not something I apply over here, but not over here. Well, if I feel like it, it's like, no, I live this in every way that I can. Every awareness that I have, I apply it because I believe it with all my heart to be the truth. And every time I've applied it, every way I apply it, it shows up for me every time. I don't care about anything but results. As far as I'm not here to be a good person. I'm not here to try to tell people what to do or how to live. I'm just here trying to make sure that I get the best out of this opportunity I can get. And this is the first time I found information that didn't require me to be something I couldn't be, or that wasn't, like I said, racist or sexist. I didn't have to buy it or pay for it. I didn't have to have a certain amount of education. I just had to be willing to listen, learn, apply, and repeat. And I get more and more experience, more and more wisdom, more and more understanding from my application and my experiences. And then I'm led to this, led to that, which just increases my awareness. I'm like, oh, so then it just starts to make sense. Like when you know somebody, it just makes sense. So when I read the book, I read this book, or I read the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita, or I read Wallace Wattles, right? Never, you owe no man anything that will prevent you from making the most of yourself, or whatever else it is. It makes sense because I'm like, oh, okay, I can perceive the truth from my experiences, from whatever else I've learned and known. Okay, this is all right. So let me apply it. Okay, it's working. All right, and stuff like that. So I realized just not what they said, but what they mean. I have a better understanding of what people mean when they're saying something because my awareness is growing. So, long answer to a short question. Hopefully that answered it.
Can I caveat to that, Coach Luckey, for
yes.
Chris?
Yes.
So Chris, like your question that you asked Coach Luckey, like, me, Chris, I grew up in the church myself. I mean, I grew up in my whole life. Right. And, I'm sure I won't be the first to admit that anytime I ever read the Bible, which was rare, right? It didn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? A lot of the stories, and it wasn't until, and the basis, like you said, what's the basis of this belief style? Believe it or not, and I don't want to deep dive into this because this can be like another 10-hour conversation. There was two Christianities, believe it or not. When you start deep diving into the metaphysics there was actually 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, whenever the powers that be decided to split the two Christianities up, the teaching styles of Christianity. Neville Goddard.
Talking about Martin Luther?
No. I'm saying the way we were brought up Christianity wise, right? Like, there's the metaphysical way of the spirituality way of looking at the Bible. When you read the Bible and you understand that it's not historical history, it's divine history. It's spiritual history, right? So when you understand, like, when you read the Bible in the eyes of the metaphysical and the spiritual, it starts to make so much sense to you. Like, you start to realize, like, wait a minute, like, damn, not
to cut you off, but I had this same thought the other day. I'm like, Jesus actually like preached against the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and that's what like the modern day Christianity has become.
Right.
In the sense of it's so far off the temperature of who Christ was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know, Coach Luckey, if you have any feedback on that.
Well, okay. So let me. Literally, this came to me today. So, you know how they say most people don't know who Jesus was. Here's what I mean by that. And if people say, okay, Jesus is salvation. Okay. If we think that was a physical person, well, in that book, they said, well, how do we pray? He said, our Father, right? So that means now, if it's our Father, if all of us came on here and said, our Father, hey, Chris, man, Daniel, Justin, man, our Father made us mad today. Made me mad today. Man, our dad made me mad today. We would all understand that to mean that we're talking about one person, right? Because we may have different mothers, but we're saying our Father. So we're saying, so when Jesus said our Father, that means we're all related. We're saying that's what he said, our Father. He said, okay, so if it's our Father, then we're all related. Then he said what? He said, all these things that I do, you can do also, right? Because I go back to my Father, right, who's in heaven. So that's going within you, because the kingdom of heaven is within you. So then if it's our Father and we can do the same thing, remember when who was it? Peter, when Peter walked on the water and then for a couple steps and then he fell, right? Does anybody remember that?
Yep.
When Jesus was walking on the water and Peter got scared and said, who is it? And Jesus said, don't be afraid, it's me. And he said, oh, if it's me, let me come out there. And he said, come on. And he went out there and was walking on the water until he started looking down. And that's metaphorically meaning he started looking at the circumstances and started drowning. But before he started looking at the circumstances, he was doing what he wanted to do. So I'm saying all that to say this. Then if it's our Father and we have this and we're made in the image and likeness, and it's our Father, and all the same works that I do, you can do, then either should we worship our brother?
So Coach Luckey, just to add real quick, 1 Corinthians 1:18.
Mm-hmm.
Christ is the wisdom and the power of God.
Correct.
Who is God again?
I am.
So if Christ is the wisdom and power of I am.
Correct.
What does that tell you right there?
Right. So it lets you know that your awareness has the ability, right? Has the ability and the know-how, right? Yep. To do anything.
And like anyone who tries to attest against this, like it says it in the book of Genesis or the book of Exodus. God says, I am who I am. My name is, you go and tell him my name. I am who I am. So we already established who God's name is, right?
Correct.
I am.
Correct.
1 Corinthians 1:18 says, Christ Jesus, Christ is the power and the wisdom of God. And who is God? I am.
Correct.
So if anyone wants to know who Jesus Christ is, the power and the wisdom of God. And who is God? I am.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
It's in the Bible.
I agree.
Chris, I'm just saying we were just not taught the right way. And what's crazy? What's crazy? The Ethiopians that have the original like text of the Bible.
They got the oldest.
Right, and that's who. Neville Goddard's his mentor, his
disciple,
Abdullah.
1:18.
First Corinthians 1:18, second paragraph, verse 16. I think Christ is the wisdom and power of God. Who is God? I am.
Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you all this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so if I am,
yes,
does that mean that I should exclude the necessity of prayer?
No.
What is prayer?
Coach Luckey, hold on, wait. Just you know what you see where I'm going with this though?
Absolutely. But what is prayer? Prayer is meditation, right? Meditation and prayer.
Not necessarily. I'm separating the two. I'm separating meditation and prayer because I do believe that the two are different. I believe that meditation is necessary, but I believe that prayer is a showing of humility and dependency on something greater than yourself.
Yeah, but so
and that's where all I'm doing is I'm sharing my tug and war.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But here's the thing: what do both of them have in common? You have to go within, right? Like,
let me say this. I got you right. This is something that I came to the realization with on one of our previous calls. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I jumped in, and it just something fired off, Chris, because like I hear what you're saying, and this was like the light bulb that went off. It was like, dang, every time what I'm used to thinking is prayer is it's a place of desperation. It's and we shouldn't have to act like that. Like coming from a desperate place, like you're begging for something. And that's where I struggle with too. It's like, well, how am I all of that? Right. But in the other sense, right, a part of my fundamental belief is that, you know, he left us his spirit. And I don't know how all of this kind of coincides with this, with where we're at, you know, but maybe
Okay,
the way
but
I've been looking at it is like the I am is like, you know, is the supercharge from the Holy Spirit. I don't know.
So, but then, okay, but then there's the
I
word
think this is a
says,
great conversation, though.
no, I agree. And honestly,
Coach Luckey, you quiet, man.
hear me out. No, hear me out. Let me.
I'm just letting you guys talk. I'll wait. I'll answer. But go ahead.
So, you know, in comparison to what you were saying, Jay, and I get what you're saying. It's, you know, we were definitely taught that prayer, you know, or we were exampled that prayer comes from a place of desperation or whatever. But even the word says that he is close to the broken and contrite spirit, you know, so, or the contrite heart, you know, so it's, you with me? Like,
But I always told you this, bro. And it's like sometimes I feel like you come from this, you know, this place of like you're not good enough. You know, like you
so
like
it's
like you owe it to yourself to like be like, I don't know.
Okay.
I know what you're struggling with. And
It's hard to let
like,
go of the old paradigms.
I understand. I'm gonna just chime in really quick. I understand.
oh, there she is.
I
There she
understand.
is.
I
Leave
understand.
him.
It's
He's gonna
crazy.
phone a friend.
No, it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. Not crazy, but tomorrow I'll be doing a video. Wait, we'll talk to Daddy. I'm doing a video and it's for like 56 women, and I'll be talking about you know, Romans 12:2, being renewed, you know, being transformed by the renewing of our minds, and how we can be in the, and I'm gonna come back to you, Chris, really fast. But when it talks, get Jojo, come here. When it talks about like us be, and I had to learn this too, and I understand. I grew up in the church, complete, like that's all I know. That's all I knew, you know, but tomorrow I'll be speaking about the renewing our minds and how we could be in a new day, a new month, a new year. But if we don't renew our minds and if we don't become the new person, then we're just, and we're just the same. Like it doesn't matter that we're in a new year. Doesn't matter that we're in a new month. We have to, here, go in there, Roberta. um we have to like constantly be renewing. But I understand the tug of war that you're saying, Chris, because we were taught a certain way, and then when we hear it, when we hear someone else say it a different way, it kind of, it's the tug of war, because like
Rubs
contrary,
us wrong.
it's
It's hard.
contrary, it's
It's
contrary
very
to
hard.
what we are taught and
Right.
stuff. You know, so that I understand that the the war inside, because it's like, okay, like, you know,
It's
is it the watermelon principle where, okay, if that applies, then I'll receive it for myself. But
exactly,
if I don't agree with that, you know, I just,
well,
you know, it just,
it's all God. All of it.
yes.
But
Everything.
then that's the thing, right? The watermelon principle says if I don't agree with it, spit it out. But this whole principle is based off of agreement.
right, exactly. Even in the science of getting rich, it says not to even go to a church, not to even go to any other type of teaching that contradicts what he was trying to teach or what you believe in. So
Yeah.
that's where I put the book down.
All right,
That's where I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. I
that's
really need to reassess.
that's understandable, though. That's understandable. I forgot that it even said that, because, you know, you got to look at everything. Like I look at everything from like a marketing base, like, you know, no matter what you want to do, you want to be involved with communities and be involved with as many touch points. So like being involved in your local church is not like a horrible thing, right?
Right.
But I can't even go to church anymore. I'm being so transparent, like, because I cannot receive the message, because of like kind of what Coach Luckey was saying. Like I've seen too much. I've I know the truth. I can't come in agreement with that anymore.
Well, everyone's gonna listen. Everyone is experiencing scripture. The entire Bible, everyone experiences, right? Until God gave us a promise, right? God's promise. I don't want to get too deep in this, right? And Coach, luckily, maybe you can interject with so the Bible, everyone experiences the Bible, and then it's finally until they have that experience where they what is it, Lucky? They meet, with the Father and the Son, right? Eventually, like
Right.
we all experience Scripture.
Like
Okay,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, no, I was just saying yes. You were saying
And I think it's so hard because of how we were brought up in the church, and we were taught essentially that God and Jesus are an external source that we pray to, and we were never taught the right way, the real Christianity, that and I forget what verse in the Bible, the power or the kingdom of heaven was within you, right? We all think these are just like saying, but the whole scripture is within. We experience scripture. Every name, everyone in the Bible is a level of consciousness that we actually go through in our lives until we finally, meet the Father. You know what I mean? Until we finally see God. Um, but you can't. That's hard for someone to take in until you actually reach that level of expansion, that expanded awareness, to get to that level to where, like, oh, okay, now it's starting to make sense. That, wait a minute, like, God is in us. God is everywhere. Everything is God. You know what I mean? And like going back to who and what Jesus is, right? Christ is the power and the wisdom of God. And who is God? I am. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a lot to take in. That's a lot to take in.
No, yeah, definitely.
For
I
someone,
agree with that though, Dan. I agree. But knowing that it's a journey, and knowing that be patient with yourself, Chris, and be patient on the journey, and be patient with becoming someone you have not become yet. Like, you haven't met that person yet. You
Yeah.
are becoming that new person. I'm becoming a new person. We're becoming, as we do our work, as we, like, our inner work, our mindset and stuff. But I definitely
but don't think,
understand.
but Chris,
But I
don't
agree
think,
with that, Dan, that God
yeah,
is everywhere.
don't
God
think
is
that
in.
don't think that this is taking you away from God, and you're going to, bro, you're coming closer. You'll see as your awareness expands, and you're actually where God is bringing us closer to him. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Like I said, I don't want to get off into that because I feel like everyone is at a different level of their expansion, of their awareness, of their conscious awakening, right? And Coach Lucky's tapped in. Coach Luckey is tapped in, man. Just some of the stuff you're saying, I'm vibing with that, man. Like, and I've been studying Neville for the past 2 years. I've been studying all the great mystics out there, and just studying the Bible, and just really understanding, what it is, um, but it's taken me,
So
to
I
about.
want to share this real quick too, Chris, because all right, so we're all talking about like the Bible and stuff, right? But like, and like I don't like know as much as Coach Luckey on this, what I'm about to say, but like, because I know her from a distance, but Vero, like, she wasn't raised in the church, right, Coach Luckey?
correct.
Right. So Vero, right, is how I met Coach Luckey, right? And anytime like I said something, like when I first met her, from like, it was maybe something that had to do with like the church, or I don't know what I'm trying to, but like the one time I said like, oh,
You were like,
the devil keeps attacking me, right? Because the devil doesn't want me to win, right? I'm doing so much good that the devil's attacking me. And she stopped me right there. She was like, I pray, or I don't know if she said pray, but she's like, I hope that you really don't believe that you're doing so much good that the enemy's attacking you. That's what I said. I mean, it's just the enemy attacking me because I'm doing so much good. She was like, what the? It took somebody not saved from what we call saved, right, to rebuke the lights out of me with more spiritual authority than I had ever. I'm like, and she really broke it down to me, like, why would you think that? But then it was like, as I built a relationship with her, it was these little things that, like, every time I would say it, it was like an alarm for her. Like, no, why are you saying that? And she, she wasn't raised in the church, and we were always taught to don't be prideful, right? Be humble, right? And for a while, like, that's why I struggled in my business, because I was trying to be humble. I wasn't trying to be the expert, right? I was trying to be, modest. I wasn't trying to be braggadocious, right? It's deep, bro.
Okay, so let me say a couple things. Okay, first, what Justin, you just said, humble. What does the word humble mean?
To, like, not be prideful, to bow yourself down, humble position.
Right. So this is why we get in trouble. This is why we get in trouble with, especially in religious talks, and when we talk about the Bible, and we talk about a lot of things, because we've been
not proud or haughty, not arrogant or assertive, reflecting, expressing, or offered in a spirit of deference or submission, a humble apology.
So you have to understand, right? So there's a lot. You know how, like, your kids come and ask you for something, and you give them an answer, yes or no. That's only like one word, right? Yes or no. But think about how many things you may consider before that lead to only one answer, though. Yes or no, but you may have 15 different reasons that made you get to that one answer, right? So they just think it's yes or no, but they don't think about how many things you've considered, right? That led to that one thing. Okay.
Right.
The dictionary is kind of like that. There are so many iterations of a dictionary, and and then there's etymology and things like that. So my point is that the dictionaries that you're reading today aren't even really the best ones. The older ones are the best ones, because they have the original definition of the words. They're adding new words now into all kind of stuff that didn't even exist back in the day, but the actual definitions of the word. So the word humble is basically the meaning of the word is, like, you remember, like, if you have a horse and you put a bit in their mouth, right? The bite thing, the little plate right there that you hold the reins with, right? That's actually what it means to be humble when you're humbling something. Because when you pull on that thing, what does the horse's head do? Right? What does the horse's behavior do? You calm it down, right? It starts to bow down to the authority. That's the meaning of the word. It's like the same bit that you put in a horse's mouth when you're pulling on that horse, and it is controlling the horse. It is focusing the horse. It is making the horse slow down. And it's right. Like, if you look at number 2, it says to destroy the power or independence, right? It's saying ranking low in a higher, like, it's saying, look, I'm going to calm you down. I'm calming your mind down. I'm getting you to focus on the task at hand, right? By an authority, right? So when we think we're being humble in certain things, we think that means to not be prideful, but that's not what it means. To be humble really means to focus your mind. It means to actually bring your mind down from undisciplined, from lack of awareness, from just running around, to actually organizing yourself, focusing yourself. And so it brings your mind down, it calms it. That's what humble acts. That's what the word means as an example. So you can see kind of what the word means through an example. That's what it actually means, right? So if we're talking about all of us, we are all waking up. We're all in different stages of awakening, right? To who we really are, right? So to Daniel's point about Chris, about all of us, we're just in different stages of awakening, right? Up to who we really are. We think we have gotten conditioned to this human experience, so we start identifying ourselves that way. And then it becomes hard to feel like we are something. That's why we feel like we always have to chase something, whether it's money or health or relationships, because we are identifying with an experience that we've had physically for so long that we start to think we are that thing, right? But we're all in different stages of awakening. That is what we're seeing. Now, only the truth sets you free. That's it. So when Chris, you asked me earlier, like, hey, where's your base coming from or whatever else it is? Because of the things that we were taught in church growing up, right? We believe a lot of things, but how many people in church are free? How many people are happy? How many people are healthy? How many people are successful? How many people are prosperous? How many people are abundant? How many people are that? How many people are in there actually living the life they want to live? Not many, not most of them, right? Most people are unhappy, unhealthy, unsafe, unsuccessful. They just feel better in 2 hours in this building. The other people didn't go in the building, just feel 24 hours crazy. These people feel 22 hours crazy because for the 2 hours they're sweating, singing, dancing, and everything like that. But they're coming right back out and living the same lives as the people who never went in. They complain just as much. They're just as sick. They're just as sad, just as broke. Why? Because they're hearing something, but they're not hearing truth. And that's why no matter how long you go in here, you're never free. Because only the truth does that, right? So to answer your question, Chris, so then I started saying to myself, if I start applying this information, doesn't matter whether I like it or not, let me apply it. And let me see if it works. Let me see if this is actually going to free me, put me in a better position than I was before I applied it. Then once I started to become more free, I'm like, oh, shoot. This actually works. Why? Because I'm free. I'm free of that fear, or I'm free of that belief. I'm free of this doubt. I'm free of this, or this fear, or this, or whatever else it is. And I can see, quote unquote, wins in my life. It's not just what I'm getting, it's what I'm no longer keeping. It's what I'm no longer having anymore. I don't have to worry about, for example, I was thinking to myself, this is months ago now. I used to say my grace like everybody else. Let me say, what was it? Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this food I'm about to receive, for nourishing my body, for Christ's sake, amen. I grew up saying that. So on my journey, I was sitting here thinking to myself, I was just thinking one day and I said, because we're going to get to your answer, Chris, but I'm going to get to your answer. What is prayer? I was thinking to myself, the thought came across my mind. Now, what am I going to say in this 30 seconds of prayer that's going to override what I'm thinking for the other 23 hours and 30 seconds? If I think I'm sick, if I think I'm broke, if I think I'm poor, if I think the world is out to get me, if I think the devil's on my back, is what I'm going to say right now in this 30 seconds really going to override what I've been thinking the whole day? What I think all day, every day? And just for my own reasoning, I was like, no, it's not. Okay, so then what can I think 24 hours a day that will be the equivalent of this 30-second prayer? Well, everything I put in and on my body is good to me and good for me, right? Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So I'm like, if that's the same yesterday, today, and forever, which is what I am is, and beloved, above all things, I am says, I wish you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers, then I'm just going to take that as not just a momental, not just a minute thing that I'm going to try to change, but I'm going to take it as a standard of living. So now I haven't said my grace in I don't know how long. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm not saying people should or shouldn't do it. I'm just saying for me, that's something that I used to do. But as I've come upon my own journey, I realized I don't need to do that anymore in order for the food to be okay for me, or for me to feel grateful for food. I feel that way 24 hours because I know it's all coming from me, from inside of me. I know that every physical thing is created by my consciousness. So whatever physical thing I'm experiencing or expressing is coming from my consciousness. So I'm not grateful for food. I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful for the me who got me the food. The food's not the food. If I don't have any money, I can't get the food, right? If I can't get to the food, I can't get to the food. Is not coming to me. So I am grateful for myself, for the awareness that I have that I can eat, the awareness I have that I can afford, the awareness that I have. So if Chris, if you gave me a marker, and you're like, here, Luck, here's a marker. And then I looked at the marker, I'm like, oh, thank you, man, thank you. This is wonderful. But I'm thanking the marker. You'd be like, well, I gave it to you, right? I'm just thanking the marker. Thank you, Expo. Oh, you're just wonderful. Thank you. You'd be like, but bro, I gave you the marker, right? So you want me to thank the person who gave it to you, not the thing they gave you, right? So the food is something I gave me, but I'm the giver. I'm the one who did that. Right? Because I am created everything, the heavens and the earth, male, female. So when you give gratitude for yourself, you're not giving gratitude to anyone else. I am God, and my glory I will not share with another. We just read that the other day, right? So I am is. See, in Hebrew, there is no tense. There is no is doesn't exist. So if I want to say, where is Daniel? I would say, Ifo Daniel. It means where Daniel, but is implied in the context of my question. There is no is. So when it says, I am the way, It's really saying I am is the way. I am is the way. Your awareness of being is the way. Your awareness of being is the life. Your awareness of being is the truth. Now, let me show. So, Chris, I want to answer your question. Justin, will you go back to the Genesis 1 for me? That full chapter. I want you to. So I want to answer. I want Chris to read verse 3. It's just one sentence. I want to show you something.
1:3.
Yeah, Genesis 1:3. Because Chris, I want to answer your question from my perspective. When you ask something. All right, and verse 3 right there.
And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Stop. Nope, verse 3. That's just verse 3. No, I want Chris to read.
Oh, okay.
And God said, "Let there be light."
Who is God?
There was light.
Who is God? So say it again.
So, and I am said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Okay.
I am.
No, that's it. Right? That's verse 3. Okay, what did you just do?
I read what you told me to read.
Nope.
What did I do?
You just prayed.
And I am said, "Let there be light," and there was light.
You said prayer is to look up to something, because whether you're using it to get you out of debt or whether you're using it to advance yourself, I want to be a millionaire, you are going to an authority that has the ability to do whatever you ask. Is that correct?
So, okay, yes.
So then we're made in the image and likeness. So when you're talking to yourself and you're saying, I am broke, what are you doing?
Right. You're coming into agreement with
okay.
that.
Yeah, but what is that? What do we call that?
Prayer.
Prayer.
Okay.
Prayer is.
I get yes.
Hey, listen. Coach is tapped in, bro. I'm telling you.
Hold on. Yeah, no, listen though. Hear me out. So, and I agree with everything you just said, Coach. I truly do, man. Now, so all throughout the Old Testament, right? It was people and persons in situations and positions that only God could get them through and get them out of. And that's why they prayed to him. That's why they were thankful to him. That's why when they were given the so-called marker, you know, I mean, we could place the marker that you put right in front of you. We could put that
Wait, Chris, who did they pray to?
Dan, hold on.
My bad.
So, and we can put that in many different ways. We can put that in a position we're in that we can't find ourselves through, that we can't find ourselves out of, you know, stuff like that. And that's where the Hebrews or even the prophets and stuff like that found themselves in those type of positions, found themselves in those type of places, right? And the reason they didn't say, I'm thanking me for this marker, was because they knew that the marker that they weren't the ones that were given the marker. They knew that there was a source that loved them beyond belief, that gave them the opportunity to get them out of that situation. And that's why they were broken before the Lord. That's why they were broken, because they knew it was something outside of their own strength and power that did it for them.
Okay. So my response to you be is that's correct. But the thing that they knew was outside of them was actually inside of them. It was outside of them because they realized it was not actually them, the physical being, what they call Chris or Paul or this. They realized that it was actually coming from within them. And the law had broken the law had broken them because they were looking something else or somewhere else, thinking it was something different than who they were. So they were looking outside. You can't get anything outside. You can only get something inside. So once they realize, like, oh, okay, what I'm actually looking for, or what I'm actually talking about, or whom I think I'm talking to, is actually within me. The reason that wasn't working is because I thought I was the physical being. So I'm trying to talk to myself. I'm trying to talk to Luckey and say, come on, Luckey. But Luckey, what did Jesus say? It's not me that does the work. It's my Father in me. Right? It's not me that does the work. It's my Father in me. What did he say? He would say, I don't do anything but what I see the Father do.
Mm.
I and my Father are one. So if I and my Father are one, there can't be anything outside of you because you're one. What is it? If I say, Chris, where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, I'm staying here, but Chris is going somewhere else. Well, there's only one of you. You're one. You're only one being. So I and my Father are one. Your Father is being personified. That's I am, is your Father. Chris is the Son, meaning the physical expression, the Word made flesh. It's the Word made flesh, right? It is not your experience, is not your identity. Your experience is your experience. Your experience only lives 100 years, let's say. Your identity lives forever. Your identity was here before the experience, just like in the beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So God doesn't need the heavens and the earth to be God. God doesn't need Chris to be God, because I am is that. But why do you think Chris keeps saying I am? Because as Chris wakes up, Chris will start to realize I am who I'm talking about. It's actually me. But it's not me, Chris. It's me, the being inside that makes Chris alive, that animates Chris. I am is the electricity. Chris is the light bulb. Chris is the TV. Chris is the physical expression that is being animated by the law, by I am, right? So when Jesus said, I and my Father are one, I don't do anything but what I see the Father do. And it's not me that does the work. It's my Father in me. So your Father in you is personified as I am. So I am in you. What does it say? Greater is he that is in me than he that is, right? I never leave you nor forsake you, right? The kingdom of heaven is within you, right? I'm nearer to you even than your breath. So it can't be out. It's not outside of you. It is your true nature that is I am. Your physical being is the expression of that nature in physical form, but it is just the expression. It's not you. You are.
So Coach Luckey, how do we, because like I totally, I understand right now, like how heavy this is for Chris, but even for me still, it's like, how do you reprogram your mind, right? Like, even though I'm far along in my journey and I'm more aware, I still wake up with me every day, right? And it's still a choice. And it's not like on autopilot yet the way I would want it to be, right? So is it true that like even simple practical, like I know we talk about it in class all the time, like, scripting, I am statements, like what would your like give us some practical tips to be able to walk away with, and even for if anybody's viewing on YouTube, like what are some practical applications to be able to identify one with this new identity, and then to actually like reprogram the subconscious?
So your subconscious doesn't actually need your subconscious doesn't actually need reprogramming the way we think it does. We just need a new understanding of it. We need to understand how it actually works, because what does it say? I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. So your subconscious is still a part of your consciousness. And there is no division between God and Jesus. There's no division between God and man. We're one. That's why, what does it say? It says, all things are possible to him who believes. With God, all things are possible. So to him and God, all things are possible. So then there can't be a separation if both are able to achieve the same thing. So then, but God, when it says him, it's not talking physical. It's talking your consciousness. It's not talking about your physical body. It's talking about your consciousness. When it says male and female, it's talking about aspects of consciousness. It's talking about your thought life and your feeling nature. It's not. So I'm saying that to say the reason we get messed up with this is because we keep believing that we're separate. We've been taught that we're separate. We're still operating under the illusion, even though we say we're not, we think we're not, we don't mean to be. A lot of times we're still operating. So when we think we're praying, I should pray to who? Yes, you should pray, but to who? And you're always praying because of who you are by nature. By nature, praying is saying, let there be. It means you are are going to yourself because you are the highest form, you are the highest level of consciousness, and you're made in the image and likeness, you're the highest level of consciousness. So whatever you say is not a request, it's a command. It's not a request. You're not requesting anything. It's a command. You're always saying, let there be. Always. Even if you think you're putting it in question form, even if you're in complaining form, you're always saying, let there be. So the illusion of separation is what causes us the biggest problem. So when we think we're praying, we still think we're praying to something else, something higher. But there is nothing higher outside of you. There's something higher inside of you, but it's your true nature that we forget we are. So to answer your question, what can we do? One of the first things we can do is understand that we are awakening. So in my experience, it takes most of us time. Just like when you're waking up, most people don't wake up out of bed and start sprinting. Wake up out of bed and start, you kind of toss and turn. You're coming out of different levels of consciousness. So in our physical experience, we've had certain states of consciousness. So we believe we're Chris, we believe we're Daniel, we believe it with our whole heart. I don't know if you heard Veronica the other day, last week, and she was arguing that she's Puerto Rican. She didn't want to let it go. Right? I'm like, you're not Puerto Rican. That is your physical experience, but that's not who you are. Right? God is not Puerto Rican. Right? Then if God is Puerto Rican, then what happened to the English people, the Irish people, the white people, the black people? God is not Puerto Rican. Right? But your experience that you're having is a Puerto Rican experience at the physical form. So I'm saying that to say, number one, it takes a little time to realize that for most of us, who we are, really, our identity, not our experience, but our identity. So just like I gave the homework, I said, okay, if you wanted money, let's say, Chris, Justin, Daniel, and I, we all could look at money and say, wow, I need $1 million. Where am I going to get that? If you realize you were I am, would you look at it the same way? Right? So one, you're looking at $1 million from your experience, and then it seems overwhelming. It seems like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I need to pray. Or if you looked at it from your true nature, you would say, well, what does it say? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Right? Who made money? I am. So then if I realize that that's me, then that means now I have a natural right to something I made. It's natural. It's a natural thing. So then if I take on the identity of my true self, then now I feel like I have more of a natural access to something because it came from me. If I feel like I'm just human, now I feel like I gotta beg, I gotta ask. I wasn't around in 1950 when they were spending money. When they first started making money in whatever age, I wasn't around then as Luckey or as Justin or as Chris or as Daniel. So then I feel like, well, somebody else created it, so I got to ask, or I got to get a loan, or I got to do this or that. When you look at any situation from your true nature, not your experience, but from your identity, when you look at it from your true identity as I am, your true nature, then you will see things differently. It will give you access. So just like you go to a bank, what's the first thing they ask you for at a bank?
Your ID.
Identification.
Your identity. If you don't have that, what do you get?
Nothing.
And according to your identity, what do you get? Only what matches, right?
Only what's in
So
your account.
if you identify as just Chris, then you are far more limited than I am is. I am would have walks in with the ID and they walk out with the bank. Chris walks in and Chris got one account. You only get access to what you identify yourself as. That's why everybody's always asking you, who are you? Who are you? You always have to have your ID for everything. That is a physical reflection of a consciousness concept. I am is always saying, who am I? That's why you're always introducing yourself or announcing yourself. You're always believing yourself to be something. And that is what is granting you access to physical experiences or expressions, AKA reality. You are reality itself as I am. That's why I said, when you said, let there be light, that is prayer because of who you are, truly, not who you think you are. So to answer your question, how do you do this? Well, you realize like, okay, I am. I keep saying I am. I'm just adding Chris at the end, but I can't say Chris. People are like, what does that mean? Oh, I am Chris. You have to announce yourself who you are first. The first who you are first is I am. It's not Chris. It's I am. So when you announce yourself as I am, when you start telling yourself, this is what I am, And each moment you bring yourself back. Okay, I have to pay a bill. All right, Chris ain't got it, let's say. Chris feels like he ain't got it. But good thing I'm not Chris. I am. I am always got it. So if I identify myself with I am, then I am says, let there be light. I am says, let that be paid.
Hey,
I now identify myself as the person who has that bill paid. And when I identify, like Daniel said earlier, when you are being something, then now all of your world responds to your ID, who you are being.
And
right?
You know what, Coach? I mean, and it's so beautiful the way you put it, because it all comes back full circle. And when you start diving back into scripture with that sort of awareness, and you start understanding Mark 11:24, whatsoever things you desire. All right, I'll repeat that. Mark 11:24. Go to the book of Mark 11:24. Whatsoever things you desire. When you pray, believe that you have received them, and you shall have them. Anything. So, bro, scripture, I'm telling you right now, when I realized everything is in the Bible, bro, any answers, anything we want in life, we can have it. I'll say it again, Mark 11:24, whatsoever things you desire, if you want to be rich, if you want to be this, that, when you pray, and what did Coach just say about prayer? Believe that you have them, believe that you have received them, and you shall have them.
So to say that, right? In order to have it's hard to believe something when you're quote unquote human. It's hard to believe something from the identities we've had, from the experiences we've had, from the this. How do you believe you're rich when you've been poor your whole life? How do you believe you're healthy and you've been sick your whole life? Well, because you can't. It's hard. It's almost impossible to do from your physical expression. When you identify with your experience, it's hard to change it. When you identify with your identity, then you realize, I'm not trying to change something. I'm just coming to the truth. I'm realizing the truth. I'm operating from the truth now. I'm not trying to change this thing into something it isn't. I am just operating as what it already is. So when you say whatever you desire, I want to impress that upon you. So Justin, you said, we talked about what prayer is. So when you say whatever you desire when you pray, when you say, I need that bread.
Oh, man.
Right? We could just for example, I knew you weren't being serious, but for example, so when you say I'm broke, or I need that bread, or I gotta make this money, I gotta have it, you're essentially saying, number one, that you don't, but the only reason you would say you don't is because you're not identifying yourself by your true nature. You're identifying yourself with your experience. So that is where the detachment comes. That's where the illusion comes. That's where the illusion of separation comes. That's why you're always chasing your Tom and Jerry in life. You're always chasing money like Tom and Jerry every day, hustling, beating the hell out of each other, right? And every episode, what do? They come back and do the same thing again. So you're broke, right? You get paid, you pay, and then you're broke right again. Get paid, you're broke right again. Take medicine, it runs out, you're sick all over again. It's the same episode over and over because you are identifying as your experience. And the more you experience something, the more you believe it, the more likely you are to stay the same. When you separate yourself from your experience and say, I'm not that. That is what I've done. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing, but I am. Been doing, I can stop doing that. Weren't you 15? Now you're 16. When you're 15, nobody could tell you it's not real. But now what are you? You're not 15, so what happened to it? It's because it's just an experience. It's not you, right? It's just something you are experiencing. So you can change your experience. So Chris was 15, now Chris is whatever age he is. But this age was just as real as 15. But Chris is still the same in the sense of Chris is still the same being. He's just having a different experience. So there's still a stability. I am is always stable. You can go from experience to experience to experience because those are just temporary. They're not you, right? So what can you do? Every time, this is a great homework this week for you guys. Great homework this week. This is what I want you to do. When you wake up in the morning and before you go to bed, I want you to tell yourself something that reflects, I am. I am everything. I'm all things. I am everything right now. So if I'm everything and I am all things and I have everything right now, there's nothing that I'm really without. It's not a matter of whether I have it or not. It's a whether I'm aware of having it. It doesn't take time. It takes awareness. As soon as you become aware that you are that, I'm everything. when you become aware, you're now selecting what part of yourself you express. When you have a bank, when you have a checking and a savings, you can pick which one you use, but both of them are available to you right now as the ID holder. As I am, everything is you. Everything is yours. You're the creator of everything. So anything you're not experiencing in your physical world is because your awareness, you're not aware of being it. So I want you to say to yourself, okay, first of all, I'm everything. Everything. I'm everything. What does it say? What does it say? I am God, right? It says, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. I am the Lord, and right?
Yep.
So I am is doing everything. So now there is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong. There's just a choice. You have everything at your disposal. I want you to think of yourself like a grocery store. And you go in that grocery store, everything is in there, but you only buy what you are. If you're a vegan, you're not near the butcher, right? If you're not eating sugar, you're probably not in the candy, cake, soda aisle. You're in the grocery store where everything exists, but you're only picking according to who you are. So I want you to realize consciously that your consciousness is a grocery store. It means everything is available to you. Now, I want you to understand that you are everything. Everything is available to you, and everything is available to you right now because you are right now. Settle that in your mind. As you settle that in your mind, start saying to yourself, okay, what do I want to pick from this store? Who do I want to start claiming myself to be so that I can express it? So the first thing that you claimed yourself to be to express, Chris, do you know what that was?
I am.
Yeah, I am. But for you, who was it? What was it? The first thing. All right, Daniel, what was the first thing you claimed to express?
That I am Daniel.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel. I am is I am, just like I am Chris.
Right.
So I am is the constant. The only difference between I am Daniel and I am Chris is what Daniel represents to awareness. Awareness says Daniel looks like this. Awareness says Chris looks like that. But Daniel and Chris are like male and female. I am created Daniel and Chris. Consciousness. So consciousness is one. Hero is Lord our God is one. One God in all, above all, and through all. Through all, right? Consciousness, awareness, as above, so below, as within,
so without. Yep.
Right? So I am is only one, but it believes itself to be Daniel. Electricity is one. You got your TV on, your computer on, your phone going to get powered up. There's only one thing powering all those different looking things, but there's only one power, right? So electricity is flowing through all of that in order to illuminate or make those alive. I am. Consciousness is flowing through all of us. We all say I am, but according to what we believe that to be, it has a physical expression. When you say I am, Chris, whatever Chris means to you is what's in your physical world right now. It's the way you look, it's the way you feel, it's the way your money looks. It is the creator of your physical experience. You have the ability to go within yourself and say, I want to change this, and this. How do you achieve or attain that? By identifying yourself as that. I am this now. Because I'm source, because I'm God, because I'm the creator, I am, then I can be anything. So when I am said, let there be light, light already existed. All you got to do is pray. I mean, all you got to do is say, let there be. I now choose to select this from the reality I've created. Right? So when you guys want to be stock traders, or you guys want to make money, or you guys want to do everything, you are only, let me give you one more example. You know, when you're 16, right? The best thing about 16, right, back in the day is getting your driver's license, right? So your driver's license, what does your driver's license allow you to drive?
A car, vehicle, motor vehicle.
Okay. Like, think about it. What does it allow you to drive?
Car.
Okay. What car?
Any car.
Any car. Okay. Can you drive a motorcycle with that license?
No.
No. You need a different
Motorcycle license.
Okay. Can you drive a Mack truck with that license?
No.
So you need a different
type C or whatever, type A license. Or
type
something
A,
like that.
type C.
Yeah. License.
License. So the common denominator is what?
The license.
So license, another word for license is what? What's a good word for license then?
the thing that we are, like the physical expression of, I don't know,
Well, it's three different things: a motorcycle, a car, and a truck, a Mack truck. Those are different experiences, right? Driving a Mack truck is different than being on a motorcycle, ain't it? And being on a motorcycle is different than being in a car, right? So one license, right? A license is something that lets you drive anything in that experience, in that category, right? So now, what do you think wealth is?
It's a license.
A license. What does that mean? It means you can express anything in that area as it relates to wealth. So you can get you can get rich on stocks. You can get rich on investments of any kind. You can get rich at work. You can hit the lottery. It's all wealth. If you became a millionaire from because your stock went up, you're a millionaire. If you got an inheritance and somebody gave you $1 million, you're a millionaire. If you win the lottery and you win $1 million, you're a millionaire, right? So it may have different expressions, but it's all in the same license. It means you can experience anything in this area, right? Okay, what is poverty?
lack of.
What is poverty?
A license.
A license. It's an experience. That means you can be poor in 1,000 different ways. You can lose all your money. You can gamble all your money. You can never have any money. You can not make enough money. There's 1,000 different ways. Just like you got that car, like you got that license when you're 16. That was so great about it. Was a license attached to a car?
No.
No. That license is not attached to a particular experience. Only anything in that experience that represents that experience. So would you say, Daniel, any car?
Yeah.
Right? So when you have a license, meaning when you have a consciousness, a standard that I am always healthy, I always have more than enough money. That doesn't have to, that can show up in any way relative to you because it's going to show up to produce the same net effect, health or wealth. When you have a license, you can drive my car, your car, his car, this car. You can drive a car out of state. You can drive your mama's car, your daddy's car, your brother's car, your sister's car, right? Your college roommate's car, because you have a license. It means you are granted the opportunity and the access to any experience on this level. And isn't that the great thing about having a license? It doesn't limit you to just one form of something. You can drive, right? You can drive anything that's classed like a vehicle license. Now, if you want a different thing, then you got to get a different license, meaning a different awareness. Different awareness. There is poverty, that's a license. There's wealth, that's a license. There is sickness, that's a license. There is this, that's a license. There's a multimillionaire. That's different than a millionaire. That's different than a thousandaire. Those are different levels of license, meaning levels of awareness that you're operating at. And whatever level of awareness you're operating at, you're eligible for anything in that area. So quick example of that. If you say you're broke, right? And you say, hey, Chris says, man, Daniel, I'm broke. Daniel's like most people and says, hey, man, you need to go and get you another job. You need to start working harder. So Chris is like, man, you're right. Let me get off my butt. I'm being lazy. So then you go to start working at a grocery store. You work there for 6 months. And let's just say you make $2,000. Let's just say ridiculous numbers, but you make $2,000. You're like, oh, cool, man. I got some money. I can pay these bills off. I'm good. So you rolling out the parking lot, got your old school hard check right there, right? Got your check, put it on the seat next to you, rolling out the parking lot, getting ready to go to the bank. You roll out the parking lot and your car stops. And you say, dang, man, what happened? So you got AAA. You're like, man, let me just get this in, see what happened. I don't know. It's probably something crazy. So no big deal. You put it in the shop. Next day, they call you, Chris, and they say, Chris, man, we figured out about your car. Man, your transmission's out. And you're like, what? Well, dang, how much is that going to cost me? Man, it's going to cost you $1,900. What are you now?
Broke.
But you worked. You went to work. You worked hard. You worked nights, weekends, stayed away from your lady, stayed away from your kids. And what happened? Broke. Your consciousness is like a thermostat. It doesn't matter how much you try to open the window, close the window, turn the fans. It's always going to kick on or cut off to adjust the temperature.
That's why I said earlier, you manifest who you are, not what you want.
Correct. And what is manifesting? Manifesting is taking an idea and making it physical. It already exists, but it already exists in physical form. You just can't see it because you're not that conscious. A motorcycle license exists. You just don't have one. A truck, like you see trucks going by all the time. Motorcycles going by all the time. You just ain't got that license, so you can't get in there. You can't participate. Not with that license. Not with that level of awareness. right? So you worked, you did what they told you to do. You worked your butt off. Most people aren't quitters. They quit.
It's 10 o'clock at night. You said you read the books just like the other night and left them there.
So I need to let, because I know it's late where you guys are, so I need to let you all go. But I want you to understand that everything starts just like the beginning. Let there be light. God created the heavens and the earth. I am creates all physical things. If you want anything to change in your physical world, you have to change your consciousness, what you identify as. You are not Chris. You are not Daniel. You are not Justin. You are I am. And when you look at it, to put in practice, keep telling yourself, I am, I am, I am. When situation come up, how would Justin see this? Okay, cool. How would I am see this? And start to operate from I am. And you'll start to see your resources will open up. You'll start to see that you have more accounts in the bank than you realize. You start to realize you have a safe deposit box in here you didn't know about. Right? You know, when people die and you go get their stuff, and you're like, I didn't know mom had this and grandfather had that. My grandfather had stuff, and he just died about 2 months ago. Man, we found all kind of stuff. Right?
And Coach Luckey, like real quick, like I just want to say this. Like I appreciate your time. This was short notice. And you came on here and you really gave us like a lot. And I'm so grateful. I appreciate it. Because like I was just so like yesterday in class, I'm like, even though I was like kind of just engaging, playing around, like it just hit me like a ton of bricks, because the intentionality behind, like, you know, I started doing something because it was fun and like I was making some money, but it was like, it was so easy, right? But the moment I started trying and like trying to like apply myself and like it all spun out of control, but because of the intention change, I was coming from a place of like lack. And like what you gave us tonight, man, it's something to really chew on, because I really feel like even those scriptures, I'm gonna go back to myself. And Dan, bro, like I appreciate you hopping on here for short notice too. I'm glad I got to introduce you to Coach Luckey. But Coach, we definitely would love to have you back, you know, in the following weeks, because this was good.
Absolutely.
And, you know, especially, you know, having a safe space as well for people to bring their challenges, as far as even
your taps,
you know,
Coach.
He's really tapped.
Oh no, man. We all are. We're all waking up. We're all on our own journeys, man. And it's wonderful to share this with you guys.
Tapped.
I love it. I'm excited.
Coach, honestly, man, I really, really enjoyed this conversation, man.
Yes.
Like more than you understand. You know, like this was, I thank you for your time. I really
thank you,
man.
guys. I'm enjoying it more than you. I love it. And that's what I want
Same here.
to do what you love.
Coach, I love it, Coach. You're tapped in. You listen. Oh man, I'd love to pick your brain somewhere. You're tapped in, man. And honestly, like that's why I love Neville so much. He just makes it so clear, in terms of, you know, reading the Bible and fully understanding a lot of the things that you were just talking about. I have to go, but I would advise everyone to really just start just digging into Neville Goddard, man. Just start really
and
understanding.
Look, guys, too, as
you know,
well. Like Dan, I know you said you would love to pick his brain. You know, a part of his offerings, he has different things going on. He has a challenge coming up. He has the community, and he has one-on-one sessions. So, you know, I would love to. He hopped off, but for those of you viewing on YouTube, listen, join the 3-day challenge, the U brand, and like we talked about so much here. I mean, I don't even want to go into like what you're going to be talking about then, but it's self-explanatory. The U brand, right? This is all about finding out who you are. So, guys, check that out. That'll be pinned below. Coach, man, once again, like seriously, thank you for hopping on here. It's just so much to unpack. it's just crazy. But I know you gave us some homework, waking up, telling ourselves something that reflects I am. What are some other like you know, practical tasks that you could give us to kind of like do throughout the week to
You know
kind
how
of
you have, you know how you have kids and you have a conversation with them before you go to the store and you're like, look, don't touch anything. don't be here running around, this, that, the other. They get out the car and they forget, right? And it's the
Earlier
same thing,
today.
right? Okay, it's the same thing. It's about, so then you see your kids and you tell them like, hey, what did I tell you? It's the same thing. It's about, I want you to bring yourself back, just like you bring your kids back, to the awareness, to the remembrance of what you said, of who you are. Keep coming back when you have moments of, I can't afford it, or my leg is hurting, my head is hurting, my eyes are hurting, she made me mad, he made me mad, I'm broke, whatever. Bring yourself back and say, okay, but who am I really? And if I know that I'm the source, if I know that I'm the creator of all things, then I can't be broke because I created money. And if I created money, I'm the owner. And if I'm the owner, I have access to it. It's not a matter of, I just have to turn my awareness to remember who I am. So it's about bringing yourself back to the awareness of who you really are. That's the exercise. Bring yourself back in moments of thinking that you're the kid running off and touching stuff when your parents said don't do that, right? When you start being tempted to think you're something different, you can't this, or you don't have that, or you don't got it. You do have it, right? You have it, right? I am always has it, right? Who's going to take it from I am? Nobody can take it, right? So nothing is lost. Nothing can be taken from you. Only a belief that it can, but you only have that belief when you think you're something different than I am. So it's about constantly bringing your awareness back to who you really are. I am is who you are. Chris, anything you want to say?
Yeah, coach, just one last question, man. So I feel like you pulled from many different directions, right? I feel like you pulled from Buddhist Sanskrit. I feel like you pulled as above, so below, which is attributed to the Emerald Tablets. I feel like you pulled from scripture, biblical scripture. I feel like you pulled from many different directions, right?
Yes, sir.
And I just want to ask you, what would you say when you go to dive in for your understanding? Where is it that you search? Beyond Neville Goddard, I get it. Neville Goddard, he probably a great teacher. He's all over YouTube. I understand that.
Yeah.
But where would you say it is that you grab for your understanding?
What I would tell you to do is what I did. I started telling myself, I know everything I need to know. I know the truth about everything. I completely understand what I'm doing, what I'm wanting, what I'm needing. I completely understand how this works. That's praying. So what you're doing now is you're telling yourself, you're declaring the end from the beginning. You're telling yourself that right now I understand something. Your human mind says, no, you don't, but you're not human, so it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is tell yourself you know the truth about everything. You understand everything. And then what that does is going to take you on your journey that's going to prove that to be true. It's going to pop up information to you from places you wouldn't even consider. But why I'm saying that is because you not only want the information, but you want the information that you can understand, you can digest from where you are, how you think, how you work, how much time you have, whether you like to read or listen. It's going to come just like a tailored suit to you personally. You're going to find the right information for you, right? I can tell you 1,000 different places to go, but I want to tell you the truth. The truth is that the truth is the truth, and you will find it in the way that is best for you. Doesn't matter what I think or how I find it. I understand what you're asking me, but I want to give you the truth. I don't want to give you a whole bunch of stuff that's not really going to help you when I can give you the stuff that's really going to help you. So it seems like it's not an answer, but it is. Sit down and tell yourself, you know what? I want to know about this, or I want to know about everything. So I'm going to take what I want to become aware of having it. I want to know the truth about everything. I want to know what I need to know to live the life I want to live. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay. I now know the truth of everything I need to know, and I'm now living the life I want to live. I know the truth about everything. I completely understand what everything I want to understand and know. What that's going to do is now that's who you're being. And who you're being now becomes the life it's now you slid your ID across to the bank teller. The bank teller now opens up the vault to, oh, his ID says he knows everything and everything he needs to know. And so here's everything, and here's everything you need to know. You have access to that thing now because you have identified yourself as that. Does that make sense to you?
It does.
And it's going to lead you to whatever is perfect for you. You may not like reading. You may like YouTube. You may like newspapers. You may like somebody talking to you in person. Whatever it is, your awareness of being knows you. It's one. You're one. That's who you are. You already have access to everything. So when you start telling yourself, I have access to everything, I now see myself as having access to everything. You're going within yourself and you're identifying yourself as the person who is that who knows everything, who has money, whatever it is. Now you're going to see the world open up to you. So all this information is going to come to you. It's going to just come right to you. It's not gone. It's not lost. You just can't perceive it because of who you're believing yourself to be now. But when you change your identity by reimagining, remembering who you are, everything, and now I can just choose what I am, then you're going to see all that information from that identity shift come right to you. You'll be like, wow, I can't believe it. It's been sitting here the whole time. You just couldn't see it. Does that make sense?
It does, man.
And you'll see. You'll be like, Coach, I can't believe. You'll be like, Lucky, I can't believe this information. I've been looking at this book the whole time, or somebody just gave me a book out of the blue. I didn't even know this person. I was in the store and they had a book and I was like, oh, that's cool. And they were like, here you go. Like, you'll be amazed at how it comes to you because it's not something to chase. It's something to be. And all these things will be added unto you. Remember how it says seek first? The kingdom, that's what you're doing. When you're seeking first, you're going within yourself and you're establishing the awareness of being whatever it is you want to do or have. And these things will be added to you. You'll see them show up right in your world. They're here the whole time. You just can't see them from the identity you're occupying. You can't get access to that bank account with that ID. You got to give them another one, right? And then they don't fight you. They're like, yeah, go on in. Or how much you want. It's just like that.
Amen.
Sheesh. Listen, y'all, check out the U Brand Challenge. That'll be linked down below. And Coach, man, I know you got other things to get to. So won't bother you now, but I will bother you again in class for sure.
Cool. Yeah, and the classes on Saturdays, I don't really say too much about my stuff. I just really ain't my thing. But like I tell, because I rely on me, I don't rely on other people. I'm not against marketing, advertising. I'm not at all. I don't mean that. But I tell myself what I am, and I let my higher self, I let my true nature bring all these things to me. It doesn't, because I don't know who's going to buy. I don't know who's going to like it. I don't know who's not. I don't know what to tell Chris. I just met Chris. I don't know. But I and Chris are one, not physically, not blood-wise, but consciousness-wise, right? So when I've tapped into, I'm a great teacher. I always tell everybody what they need to know, whether it's one person or 10 people. I've already tapped in so that my awareness knows his awareness because it's one. So then whatever, it's going to click for him or you or whomever. So I say all that to say, I don't really do a lot of advertising. Oh, but I don't really. But I'll just say there's classes on Saturday. We have them every Saturday. They are 7 a.m. Eastern time from 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific. So that would be 9 to 12 a.m. Eastern, right? Yeah. We have those every Saturday.
Yeah. We start at 11, I think, Eastern.
No, it starts
10 Eastern. 10 Eastern.
Yeah, 10 to 12 Eastern. 10 to 12 Eastern. Right. Every Saturday, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, 7 to 9 Pacific. And it's just, we talk about things. All my board is erased now, but we go over a lot of this stuff so that people, because I want people to have the information so they can use it on a Tuesday. Like I always say, like on a regular day. That's why I love the information, because I use it for money, health. I use it because it's a lifestyle. It's an awareness of being. It's a way of being. And when you have a way of being, you don't have to even worry about everything. Like I don't even worry about all the little things, because I know if I tell myself, last example I'll give you, if I am is everything, and whatever I am goes, whatever I am says goes. What if I am Chris? What if I am, as Chris said, my life is perfect? Whatever that would mean to Chris is what would happen. Because if I am says, let there be light, it happens, right? Well, if I am says my life is perfect, then my life is perfect. My life is perfect in every way. That's a prayer. You're saying, let there be light. Well, perfection to you, whatever that is, perfection will come. It will be good and very good. It means your life will be perfect. It means you don't even have to talk about every incremental or itemized thing. Your life, the totality of it will be perfect. Whatever perfect is to you is what it will be. When you start to identify yourself as, I'm the owner of a perfect life. Whatever perfect is to you will become what people call manifest, just mean made visible. It's already here. It would just be made visible. Because if I am says, and whatever I am says goes, and whatever I am is believing itself to be, it creates. Then if you say, well, since that's who I am, then I say I'm perfect. That means everything must be perfect. Where? Everywhere, all the time, with everything. Because that's what perfection is. I'm everywhere, all the time, everything. So that means everything must. And when you assume yourself to be that, you will see it's the way everything works. Right now, we just assume ourselves unconsciously. So we assume ourselves to be things we don't want. Instead of consciously, that's what the class is about, is teaching people how to assume themselves to be things they do want. how to go within themselves and choose wisely to be things they do want. And they see those things show up in the world really quickly, right? Because you just realize it's the awareness of being, not the physical trying to do.
You teach people how to think better so they can live better, right?
Right. I teach people how to think properly so they can live well. Not what to think, how to think. Not what to think, how to think. Right? So that, because it's like teaching people how to fish. Right? Once you know how to think, then you can apply that ability to anything. That's why I love the information so much, because it's not denominational, it's not racist, sexist, it's not ageist, it's not something. You can use this information in every area of your life. Every day, it's a way of being. It is a lifestyle. It's not an on or off. It's not put on a robe and I'm this, and then take off the robe and I'm that. No, it's everything. It's not just for relationships. It's for money. It's for health. It's for every day of your life, every moment of your life. And you'll see it's a way of being. It's not a way of doing. It's a way of being. A way of being.
And like the rest of the crew didn't hop on, but you know, we have a good like almost 10 people like in our group. And you know, what I realized now was like it, you know, it was focused on trading, like looking at the markets and stuff, but like this is so much more important, because once we learn this, then of course the technical indicators and all of that, to be able to trade.
Who's trading? Who's trading?
I am.
So who do you believe, right? So if I am is trading and you have your mind on right, what does it say? I have the victory in all things. Right? What does it say? But I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if I have the victory in all things and I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever, how can you lose?
I can't now.
There can't be two things. Those opposites can't be true. Only one of them is true. If I am has the victory in all things, the victory in all things. It said all things. I didn't write the book. I didn't say it. It says I have the victory in all things. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. If you tie those two together, I have the victory in all things, yesterday, today, and forever. What is all things? Trading. What is all things? Parenting. What is all things? Your work. What is all things? Your health, your money, your relationships, in all things. That's my point. That's why I'm doing the U brand, because most business people I work with separate this knowledge. They say, oh, this is good for health. Oh, this may be good for relationships. But my business is, no, it's not something else. It's just something else you are doing. But I am is still doing it. So once you get a control of I am and who that is, which is I am, not Justin, not Chris, but I am the source, the creator of all things, then you realize that success is natural to you. Victory is natural to you. Everything is natural to you, right? And so you get to choose whatever you want. So how can you lose? Why do you have to lose money, make money, lose money, make money? Does like the world start working, stop working? Does the sunlight stop working, start working? Stuff doesn't break up or break down. It doesn't work like that, right? But only when we lose our mind, when we start to identify ourselves as something else, then we become eligible for suffering, right? Which is just ignorance. It's a lack of, we've lost our consciousness, right? When our kids go and start running around, they lost their mind, right? So to speak, right? We lose our mind. We start thinking we're something different. Right. So that's what it is. So I know it's later you're in. I'll let you guys go.
Oh, man.
Coach, I'm going to chew on this for probably the next few days, man.
Yes,
this was some steak, and definitely something that I need to decipher within myself. And,
yes, sir. Yes, I want to press that upon you.
Really
go within yourself. All the answers are there. My job is just to make you aware. I'm like your alarm clock. That's all. But you got to wake up and go within you. Sit down with yourself. Be quiet for a couple minutes. Ask yourself a question and then just let it. It'll answer. Your awareness will answer you. It's you. If you're suffering, I am suffering too. I am suffering. It's with you. It's not somewhere else, right? So why it doesn't want to suffer any more than Chris wants to suffer. But you guys have to work together, so to speak. Right? So sit down and say, who am I? What am I? What do I want? I want this. I like this. Go within yourself. It'll answer you because it is you. It is you. Right? So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Not read a whole bunch of books, not do this or do that. I want you to sit down and go within yourself because that's where all the answers are. All of your answers are in you because they're yours for you. I can't get in you. I don't know everything that's right for you, so to speak. I just know what's right as far as leading. Everything I say is like a mirror, is to lead you back to you.
Man, thank you so much, Coach Luckey.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yes,
gotta chew
sir.
on this. We gotta chew on this. I knew you was gonna come stir up the pot, man. But I know too, it makes some great content, which I'll be connecting with Vera. We'll get some really good clips. Because that was a nice little promo there for the U brand, y'all. You guys got to check him out. And especially even with everything that I talk about, with people and their businesses, like you are the content. Like that's been
People
my
don't
saying
understand
now.
it. They don't understand it. And when you separate yourself, it's like if you have a meeting with Bill Gates and you're 10 minutes late, who's late?
You.
And who else is late?
I am.
Yeah, but you have a business and you're meeting with Bill Gates. Who's
Oh
late?
yeah. Your business is late.
You and your business is late. You and your business are
one.
You are the two become one flesh. Right? So when you separate yourself from your business, when you think, oh, I'm struggling, oh, I'm trying, oh, I'm just trying to get ahead, what do you think your business is going to reflect?
The same exact thing.
Because you're the one giving. Okay, if Chris, you had a business selling hats, and I called your business, who would I be talking to?
To me.
Yeah, but I didn't call you. I called your business. Who would I be talking to?
To me.
Right. See, you can't separate it. You can't separate it. You can't. So if you can't separate your business, you know what else you can't separate? Your money. You can't separate your health. You can't separate your relationship. Because they are yours. They are attached to you just like your fingers, your arm. They are your possessions. So as you go, they go. As you are, they are. So when people think they can just be this and their business is going to be something different, it's not. It's only a reflection because I can't call your business. A business is not a living thing. You're the life. Just like a house without a living thing is vacant or abandoned. Your business without you is vacant or abandoned. I don't care what business I'm calling. I'm calling Chris. You can call it a car wash, a barbershop. I'm calling Chris. Right? You are the business. So that's what the U brand is about. It's getting people to understand like you are your first business. You are your first economy. You are your first thing. And once you get you together, your business is only a reflection of you. So you don't even have to worry about the business. You are the business.
And when is this? When is this U camp?
Man, I don't even know. Just as
it is.
I just show up, man. I don't even have the Veronica takes care of all that, but I think it's in the month. It's like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
March 23rd. March 21st to the 23rd.
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris, you signed up for the Saturday call, the community?
No, not yet.
Got you.
Yeah. So I just do things on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Make people come. You know you can party or you can live well. Most people don't really want to be successful. They just want to be comfortable. They don't really want to be happy. They just don't want to be unhappy. Most people really haven't made a commitment to be anything they want. They just are really upset about what they aren't. Mm-hmm. Right. So mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, you guys can come get this chili if you want it. Otherwise, that's what it is, right? So anyway, we can go on and on and on. But yes, Chris, go with inside yourself. Meditate is good. Close your eyes and just let your thoughts go by, and then also sit there and ask yourself a couple of questions, and then go off about your day. And you'll see how your awareness answers you because it's you. It's you. It is you, and you'll see, man. You'll see, and you'll realize the better you think, the more you learn how to use your mind, the lesser you're behind you'll use. You won't wear yourself out so much. Meaning, in our physical, we wear ourselves out in our physical world because we won't learn how to think, and so we punish our body. We put it on a whole bunch of diets. We make it stay up late, work overtime, 3-4 jobs, but we still tell ourselves we're broke. So then you make that $2,000 and your transmission go out. So what are you going to do now? So then you quit. You're not a quitter, but you just quit. I did everything I could, and I'm still in the same spot. What's the point? That's why. Because you're still in the same spot. This is not the spot. This doesn't create anything. This only assembles. Everything comes from here. The idea comes from here. This is just the assembly plan. So, all right, gentlemen, I'll let you all go. Everyone, let you all go.
Thanks
Cynthia,
so much,
you on
Coach.
there.
Coach.
Yeah, thank you all.
Salute, man.
Yeah, man, it's great meeting you. Great meeting
Same
you.
here.
Yes, man. I hope to see you soon. Man, keep
Yes,
up
sir.
the good work.
Oh, he's gonna be at something. Watch.
Yeah, Saturdays or the U brand, whatever. It's all good, right? Come get it. I'm serving it up. I can't cook, but I can cook this.
Once again, Coach, thank you, man, for just kind of supporting what I'm doing. I definitely would love to have you back on, when there's even more people, because I thought this was gonna get real interesting, as it did, but a few other people that I kind of wanted to hear your message, but that's why I knew whoever was on here it was for.
Yes.
So, and then whoever's on YouTube watching, I know they got a lot of value out of this, and we just appreciate you imparting into us and reminding us who we are, right?
Remember that everything changes. If you can get to that, everything changes, because nothing's hard for I am. Nothing is, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. I am never misses, never fails. I am is prosperity. I am is prosperity itself.
That was good, Coach.
Yes, it.
That was me.
One last question, right? One last question I do have. One last question I do have is how long have you been on your journey, and is where you're at now, for instance, is this years of development and practice where it's so secondhand nature for you?
Yeah. Oh no, I've been doing this for years. Not because it took that long. Everybody's journey takes their own. It just depends on when you wake up. Like I said, it's like getting out of the bed, like when your alarm clock goes up. Some people pop out the bed, like they just up on the first ring. Some people hitting the snooze. Some people just let it keep going and just act like they don't hear it, right? We all awaken, getting out of bed at our own pace and speed, right? So however long it takes for everybody's different. But for me, I've been on my journey for, man, I would say probably about 5 years that I've really been kind of locked in and just focusing and learning and growing and applying, and I'm always led to different things and stuff like that. But this is a lifestyle. Like I said, it's a way of being. So every day I deal with things like everybody else. It rains on me too, right? Like I ain't out here, living in some kind of alternate planet. I'm out here like everybody else. But that's why I'm so passionate about what I'm saying, because I use it. Like I live it. Like I ain't out here taking off no kind of robe and then going on to live like something else. I use everything that I'm talking about. That's why I'm so passionate. It's not because I'm trying to make anybody be anything, do anything, convert anything. Like I always say, I don't care what you want. I just want you to have it. So I don't really care what it is you want. I'm just going to give you the information so that you can start believing yourself to be or perceiving yourself to be whatever it is that it is you want, right? But that's why I'm so passionate about it, because it's a day-to-day life. I live it every moment of every minute of every second. And so I'm learning, I'm growing and awakening. And so I get excited when I learn something new or this or that, because it's just another way to make things better, make things easier, faster. So it's taken me, man, about a good 5 years personally on my own journey thing. But I've just been listening to YouTube videos. I haven't gone to any conferences. Most of the people I've listened to or read have been dead. Right, Joseph Murphy's dead. Wallace Waddles is dead. Rev Ike is dead. Neville Goddard is dead. I listened to Joe Dispenza. I listened to Bruce Lipton. I listened to so many wonderful people currently on YouTube that I listen to. So you'll see, I'll sometimes send you and Cynthia something from people that I know from listening to. They know what they're talking about. I listen to people like that. I'm always listening, always learning. But one of the things I've learned is what I told Chris. Learn how to sit down and listen to yourself. That's where all the answers are for you personally. You're tailored. Everything else is general information. It's true, but it's like a suit off the rack. When you want to go somewhere nice, you want to get it tailored. You want it to fit you personally. And when you sit down and go within yourself, all the answers are there. They're there. They're waiting for you. They're literally waiting for you. And if you will go in there, they'll come to you. And you'll be like, oh, that's how I do that. Oh, that's why I messed that up. And now I know what I was thinking. I know what to think different. Your awareness of being is waiting on you. It'll answer everything. Seek, right? Knock, right? And the door will open. Seek and you shall find. Ask and it'll be answered. That's within you, not me, not Justin, not outside, inside. All the answers are waiting right there. So that's what I would say. About 5 years, and it's a lifestyle. I do it every day. It's a way of being.
Man.
Yeah. All right, gents. Well, shoot, I'm
We
gonna let you go.
appreciate you, man. We appreciate you, Coach. And
Definitely appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you both for letting me holler and rant and rave and sweat even in the nighttime. I'm out here ranting and raving, sweating, get myself all worked up because I love it. I'm so passionate about it. I want all this for you, just like I want it for me.
well, listen, I look forward to continued collaboration.
Sure.
For curated sessions like this, but I'm really excited with everything you're doing with the academy, the community, and just grateful to be a part of that as well. So
I'm grateful to have you. Grateful to meet
again,
you,
Coach.
Chris, and hopefully see you soon. And everybody,
yeah, man. Seriously, Sammy, I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. All right, gentlemen, we'll catch up later.
Good night.
Night. Peace.
That was nuts, right? Oh, left on here by myself. Well, listen, YouTube, thank you guys so much for tapping in. This is the Alchemy Family YouTube channel. We do these live streams every Sunday. Now actually doing the stream, but we've been meeting with a group of guys every Sunday. My goal is to be able to bring other speakers on and just continue to have conversations like this that will be able to help empower you to live a better, more fulfilled life. And thank you guys so much. If you watched the video, if you liked the video, but I'll appreciate you even more if you just subscribe to the video. My name is Justin. I'm one of the hosts of the show, the community, the YouTube channel. So we appreciate you stopping by. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.